When caught between a cheating girlfriend and a conniving brother, I think I'll just stick to dating my mirror for now. Thanks, though. Today on Our Space, Know When to Fold 'em. Up first, Karen sure knows how to turn a relationship into a three-ring first-story circus. Girlfriend caught cheating at her friend's wedding. Scene perspective. Girlfriend deflecting responsibility when caught cheating at her friend's wedding. So, I met my girlfriend, Karen, years ago after she left her abusive boyfriend and moved back in with her parents and her small child. She dropped out of college when he got her pregnant in her senior year, and he cheated and was physically abusive until she finally left him. We got introduced by one of her sorority sisters, Angie, who married a friend of mine, Dave. We connected and dated for a few months, and she and her son Bobby ended up moving in with me. The first few years were great. I got her to go back and finish her degree, and my dad got her a job where he works. And about a year and a half ago, Karen reunited with some of her sorority sisters, and they started having a girls' night out every other Saturday. She was also having drinks after work with some of her coworkers occasionally. And when I said something about it, she got defensive and we started arguing about it. Angie told her husband, Dave, that Karen was flirting a lot when they were out, to the point where it started to bother her. And Dave gave me a heads up about it. And Angie gave me a heads up about it. And so on one of their girls' nights, I showed up at the bar and saw her flirting and letting a guy put his hands on her. So I walked up and asked the guy to take his hands off my girlfriend and told Karen it was time to leave. It was an ugly drive home, and we fought, and she ended up sleeping on the couch. The next morning, she apologized and said she had a little too much to drink and got carried away. I said that wasn't good enough, and if we were going to stay together, we were going to have to go to counseling together and work through this. Obviously, the girls' night out was over for a while until we made progress and things got better. 2 months ago, I could tell she was starting to act sketchy, being overly paranoid with her phone and leaving the room when she would use it. I tried to talk with her, but she was just evasive and denied anything was wrong. I talked with Angie and Dave about my suspicions, and Angie finally said that Karen had been talking with an old boyfriend from college, and they had been flirting. And they had been flirting all month. And so she had said that when Angie called her out on it, Karen stated, if she could keep both of them happy and I didn't find out about it, then what was the harm? She said I was a great provider and great with Bobby, and she didn't want to lose that, but she needed more. Needless to say, that was devastating. But according to Angie, the old boyfriend lived in Houston, so there was no way they had anything physical. Just long-distance flirting. But one of Karen's sorority sisters asked her to be a bridesmaid at her wedding, and we made plans to go, but Bobby developed an ear condition and was supposed to have tubes installed, so he couldn't fly there with us. I volunteered to stay with him while she went. It was a 3-day event with a rehearsal dinner, bachelorette party, shower, and the event day itself. After the rehearsal dinner, Dave called and said Karen's old boyfriend had shown up, and the two were hanging out and being very indiscreet. He sent me a couple photos, including a short video of them making out at the hotel. I called Karen's father and asked if he could watch Bobby so I could drive down for the wedding, and I dropped Bobby off on the way out of town. And it was a very long 6-hour drive, and I finally got there late that evening. I got to her room and could hear laughing inside, and I knocked on the door. After the third knock, Karen opened the door in her robe, and I walked in to find a guy naked in her bed. I introduced myself and advised him he should leave quickly. I turned and saw that Karen was undressed under the robe and asked her to explain herself. She got mad, then made excuses, and then accusations. I finally said enough. I told her we were through, and I said I was leaving. If she decided to come back, she could get her things and get out of my life. As I walked back into the hall, there were a dozen or so people there, including Angie. We never closed the door to the room, and as loud as we got in there, I'm sure we put on a pretty good show. I drove back and got home about the time the sun came up and crashed hard. The next morning, I started boxing up all her clothes, but when I came to her lingerie drawer with all the sexy stuff we had bought, I threw all that into a different box along with her party and club wear and sent it off to Goodwill. So if you, a couple of days later when her flight got back, she called me from the airport, but her number was still blocked, so she had to Uber home. When she walked in, there were over a dozen boxes sitting in the living room with all of her and Bobby's stuff ready to go. I told her Bobby was at her parents' house and she could call her dad and have him help haul the rest of her stuff to his house or wherever she planned on staying. She tried to talk her way out of it, but I wasn't listening to her stories. She tried to load her suitcases in the car, but her key fob wouldn't work. I told her both cars were in my name, and if she tried to take one of them, I would report it as stolen. Her dad finally showed up, and I gave him the short story on why we were breaking up. He didn't say a lot, but we shook hands before he left. So all that was a week ago. Dave and Angie have cut contact with Karen. Evidently, our drama spilled over the next day at the ceremony and overshadowed the wedding. Karen reached out and we talked a couple times, but I said there was no way back for us. Even so, she refuses to give up on us. Right now, I just have this hollowing feeling inside. I eat, go to work, come home, and try to sleep. I'm not mad anymore, just numb, maybe a little sad and confused on what to do next. Sorry for the long post. Talking about it out loud is so hard, and it felt good to let it all out. Edit, for clarification, the guy at the wedding was not her ex, Bobby's dad, just a guy she dated in college. She was actually in a very physically abusive relationship with Bobby's dad that included a couple of ER visits. The last one, Angie, was the one that drove her to the hospital, so that was not hearsay. The cheating, I have no proof, nor does Angie, just Karen's story. The Karen story. Well, that sounds like Karen's got a remarkable talent for turning a relationship into a spectator sport. I mean, going from I survived an abusive relationship to let's see how many guys I can juggle without dropping the ball is quite the Olympic level leap. But seriously, if there was a gold medal for relationship wreckage, Karen would be a shoo-in for the top spot. It's like she's playing some twisted game of emotional Jenga, and unfortunately, you were the one left picking up the pieces. At least you've got a heart of gold for trying to make it work, but sometimes you just gotta know when to fold them. Update, right, update. Thanks for the words of support. I thought I would post an update since several of you had asked. Dad texted me this morning and said, Karen got let go this morning. She took it like a true diva. They had a security guard watch her pack her personal things and walked her out the front door. Eventually, I'm sure the blame will be mine. Wednesday, I finally got all of her stuff out of the house and blocked her on everything. I got a letter in the mail Thursday, 2 pages of how she made a terrible mistake, and she just thought she needed to get some stuff out of her system so she could fully devote herself to me. A lot of pleading and promises. I got an email from the maid of honor thanking me for her gift and her condolences after the incident at the hotel. The affair partner had a girlfriend who was not at any of the pre-met functions, but flew in for the ceremony and heard the stories of the days leading up to the wedding. She was expecting to attend the wedding with the affair partner, but he was a no-show. After talking with Karen's dad again, we both came to the conclusion that it was better if I just stepped out of Bob's life. That way Karen couldn't use him as a pawn and really mess with his head, and Bobby could move on and adjust to his new norm. Her dad asked me some pretty direct questions and wanted details I would have preferred to leave out. He was both sad and angry. I think that the special daddy-daughter bond took some major damage. Hmm. 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 I had one of Karen's sisters reach out to me and we had dinner. She said with what I did for her, I deserved so much better. She went on about how Karen embarrassed herself and how none of them wanted anything to do with her now. The rest of the dinner was about me and how I was feeling, what I was doing to get past this and move on. By dessert, it had moved to, if you need to talk, grab a drink or maybe a movie, give her a call. And I did. I've rearranged all my rooms, threw out some decorative stuff and replaced it with something different. I also replaced most of the lighting with remote LEDs and added some colored backlighting, so the house has a different feel and look to it now. The next plan is to repaint Bobby's room and make a guest room out of it. I upgraded gyms and signed up for some personal training, and I have a cute trainer that I think is trying to kill me. I'm just trying to fill my time so I don't sit and think too much and fall back into the rabbit hole. Going out tonight to our favorite watering hole and hanging out with some friends. Let's get a quick reaction from the community. You're moving through this very well. I'm really impressed about how you're turning chicken crap into chicken salad here. Your girlfriend destroyed her own life. She needs to drop this The Notebook act and recognize that she blew it and it's over. I'm sure it's too soon for you, but it's also pretty clear that you have at least one admirer here. The sister you met up with looks like she's feeling out where you are before making her move. Release. You don't have to act on it, but it must at least make you feel a little better to have her attention and support. I think she may have had an eye on you while you were with her soon-to-be ex, and this whole experience triggered her to hop into the queue, so to speak. I feel terrible for Bobby, as this is effectively the second father he's lost, but it sounds like your soon-to-be ex's dad will be ready and able to explain to him why you left one day. Hopefully his grandpa can step in and be the father figure he needs. Growing up, keep improving yourself, dude. I hope we get an update in a year or two saying you met a wonderful woman and got your mojo back. You've got this. You're getting escorted out by a security guard. That's a new low even for her. Kudos to you, OP, for taking charge of your space and your life. Repainting Bobby's room and upgrading the gym sounds like a solid plan for a fresh start. Plus, nothing like a cute trainer to add a little extra motivation to your workouts, right? As for that sorority sister, it sounds like she's been waiting in the wings for her shot at the spotlight. Hey, at least someone's seeing your worth through this mess, even if it does feel like she's been lurking in the shadows for a while. And Bobby, the poor kid, but with his grandpa stepping in, hopefully he'll have the support he needs to navigate this crazy situation. Keep pushing forward, man. You're rebuilding stronger than ever. Who knows? Maybe next year's update will be about your whirlwind romance with someone who knows how to appreciate a good guy like you. You've definitely got this. Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Next up, just when you thought you were dealing with a coworker affair, turns out it's a family affair of the worst kind. Second story. My 22-year-old girlfriend, or 23-year-old girlfriend wants to keep her affair baby. Sorry for the bad English. My girlfriend had an affair with a coworker. She even went on a 7-day vacation with him. After she told me about her affair, she begged for mercy, and we went into counseling. She blocked him on everything and showed me that she wanted to fight for our relationship. 3 months into our reconciliation, we were doing great. I even told her that I wanted to have a baby with her someday, and then her face went pale. I asked her what was wrong, and she told me that she was pregnant. It was from the affair partner. I was obviously angry and asked her to have an abortion or put the baby up for adoption, but she wants to keep the baby and make me the dad. I want to be a father, but I wanted it to be my own child, not someone else's. Should I leave her, or should I try to convince her to abort? Edit for more context. We had been together for years. We started as roommates because she needed money to pay for her house. The affair lasted 2 months. She confessed the affair to me after a work trip. The affair partner told her to leave me for him, but she got scared and left him. She confessed everything to her family and mine as a gesture of reconciliation. She left one little thing. I bought a pair of scissors, she confessed. She eventually confessed everything to her family and mine as a gesture of reconciliation. Let's see what the community thinks. First up, you're young. Was this your dream for your future? Raising someone else's kid, living with someone who could so easily cast aside your feelings, your wants, your needs? Was that the dream? It's time to call it. She betrayed you, lied to you, all while claiming she loves you. Walk away. Go find someone who will honestly love you. Next person says, reconcile what exactly, pal? I know you're young, but please don't be so naive. She was in a whole other relationship for 4 months while, I might add, getting raw-dogged and putting your health at risk. She could confess till the cows come home, but it still doesn't excuse what she did. Move on with your life, buddy, and concentrate on your purpose and grind now. Giving a cheater a second chance is like playing Russian roulette, and white knighting does no one any good. So-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. So let me get this straight. You want her to abort another man's child, and then you would want to go on like normal and have kids with her? What the F is wrong with you? Update. So yesterday I posted this asking for suggestions and help. Someone on Reddit told me about another social network they could be using, so I followed the suggestion and went through her laptop. The coworker affair partner doesn't exist. The real affair partner is my brother. My brother has been going on for more than 2 months. They've been making fun of me, my body, my insecurities, behind my back. They were doing all kinds of stuff in my house while I was working outside. I work as a cook. But that's not the tip of the iceberg. They got married during that 7-day vacation. And the worst part? My parents knew about this, as well as her family. They were sending photos of each other. I found all this while looking through her chats. She didn't add my brother, but I know it's him because of the photos and some things that only he knows. Well, I waited for her to come back from work. I'm still broken and really hurt. When she came back, I asked her immediately about this. She just smiled, told me that she was tired of pretending, and that she only stayed with me until the lease was over, and that the child was my brother's. I packed my stuff and left. I'm now with my big sister. She is as shocked and hurt as I am. She's been calling my parents, brother, and girlfriend all day. My parents are the only ones who tried to contact me, but I'm not answering. I will cut off my parents and brother. Thank you all for the support. I will update if something else happens. But right now, I will just try to calm down. I will update if something else happens. But right now, I will just try to calm down. One quick reaction from the community. So your girlfriend married your brother and was still pretending to be with you and reconcile, and your parents and her family knew about this and still left you to suffer? What the F? The OP deleted his account and no more updates. Hey, OP, at least now you've uncovered the real story, even if it feels like you've stumbled into the darkest episode of Jerry Springer. And props to you for making a swift exit and seeking refuge with your big sis. Family might mean everything, but in this case, it's clear who's got your back. As for your ex and your brother, well, they can enjoy their twisted little fairy tale together. But you're off to write your own story, one where loyalty and respect aren't just punchlines in a sick joke. Keep your chin up, buddy. You've dodged a bullet big enough to have its own gravitational pull. Have you ever discovered your partner cheating on you with one of your siblings? What did you do? Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Also, until next time.